Well, I have the Glock 43 and the Glock 43X. Stay tuned and I'll tell you which I prefer for a carry gun. Well, it's been some time since I've done a gun video. And to be honest, the reason why is, well, I haven't bought a new gun until now. I just recently picked up the 43X. Now, I've had the Glock 43 for some time, well over a year, and it's been my consistent carry gun. But since the 43X came out on the market, I figured that's the way I'm going to go. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about why I like the 43, but I'm also going to talk about why I like the 43X better and why it's going to be my new carry gun. Now, as you see with the Glock 43 I have here, I have it with a extended magazine. Now, this is the Hive. I have two of these with the Hive, and I have one with the Terran Tactical. Now, these are both +2, which with a round in a chamber is giving me 9 rounds in the Glock 43 as far as a carry gun. Now, the only thing I've really done to it beyond that is put some night sights on the pistol. And to be honest with you, I like the gun. It's a comfortable gun, reasonably. It's definitely a light gun, but the problem is it just doesn't carry enough ammunition. I carry 2 spare magazines with this thing, both with the extended magazines because, well, that's the only way you're going to have extra ammo. The Glock 43 comes with a standard 6-round magazine. I'm sorry, but that's just not enough ammo. Okay, as you can see with the 43, it's fairly standard as far as Glock goes. No front serrations, no detailing up front, no making it slimmer, and as we said, it's rather flush and flat for the single stack magazine that it uses. It is a true single stack magazine. Now, when we compare it to the new version, or the 43X, we see some significant differences between the two. Obviously, right off the bat, you can see that the 43X has the front serrations. It's been blended down kind of in the fashion of the 26 or 27. I believe the 34, the competition pistol, is that way as well. So that's kind of nice for going in and out of the holster. Now, this longer frame does make a difference. In addition to the fact that you have more rounds, it's also thicker. Let's look at it from a side-to-side comparison view. You can see this is definitely thicker for the magazine. The advantages of the 43X over the 43 can't be understated. You've got more purchase on the gun. It is thicker. It is a better grip. It is longer, so depending on the size of your hands, you're definitely going to get a better grip. Thicker grip, longer grip, you can get more fingers on it. You don't have to worry about putting the extra base plate to get more purchase on it. And your indexing, the length is the same. So basically the slide is the same on both pistols. The frame obviously is not. When you look at these two frames just in the bare bones, you'll notice the frame on the 43 is flared right here. And this is an interesting thing. It's flared so that the internal mechanisms of the pistol, like the slide catch release, and other pieces, parts, fit uniform. Now, the internals are exactly the same. Even though the 43 is a little bit narrower and the 43X is a little bit wider, you'll see that these mechanisms are all the same size. They're standard. There's interchangeability. That way they can mass produce them. And that's the interesting thing. As I was saying before, you'll see a little flare up here, and then it evens out. It's very flat. Now we look at the 43X, it flares out wider. What you don't see on the 43X is the indentation down here. There is a little bit of a flare up here in the frame, but it flares out and then it stays uniform throughout the grip. And that's a rather unique thing, and I think it's a good thing because it gives you that bigger grip that gives you room for the bigger magazine. When you look at the lower end of the frame where the serial number is, they're the exact same size. The dimensions are exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that they've trimmed up the 43X to kind of conform with the bevel that they have on the front end of the 43X. So you don't have as much beveling. Actually, you have no beveling, but you do have rounding on the 43. So it's a little beveled on the X, rounding on the 43. But you can see the width of that portion of the pistol is exactly the same. The trigger is exactly the same. The trigger guard is exactly the same. It's just when it comes to this flare, you don't have it. You have a little bit of a flare, but then it stays uniform. You know, there's no indentation like you have here. Once again, they're using the same mag releases on these. I think it's a little bit looser on the 43, but that could be because I've used this more. This one is pretty tight. Now, here's the thing I was thinking about. I like the 43. It's been my carry gun for about the last year or so. But I don't like the lack of firepower with having to add the +2 base plates to the magazines. That way I've got, you know, 8, 9 rounds in the pistol. I love the fact that I've got 10. But here's the thing. I already have my night sights put on my standard 43, the Glock 43 in Glock Black. Might as well be a Glock Black. This, you know, I'm not a big fan of two-tone. Some people like two-tone. I'm not. I don't really care about the front serrations. The only thing I really like about this is the bevel. Bevel's kind of nice, but once again, most of the Glocks I have don't have bevels, so big deal. When you look on the inside, you know, they're both 43s, so the internals are all exactly the same. These are the exact same slides, the exact same barrels, the exact same spring set. So my thought is, I've already got the sights on that. I don't really care about the color difference. What I'm going to do is take the Glock 43X frame, the Glock 43 slide, and if I can line them up, there we go. Now I've got what I would consider the Glock 43 hybrid, and I'll be honest, I kind of like it better. I like the standard Glock all black. Basic black goes with pretty much everything, and I've got the bigger grip, I have a better grip, and I have a 10-round magazine on this. So I don't know if Glock's going to come out with this in all black. My guess is that they probably will, but at current time at the market, since they came out I believe in January, obviously it's only going to be in the two-tone. If you have the 43 and you have the 43X and you prefer the black and you don't want to spend the money to Cerakote it and you already have sights on it like I do, make yourself a 43 hybrid. Now I have two pistols and I actually have them almost exactly the way I want them. The only difference would be I kind of like the idea of the bevel. No big deal. The only thing you really notice on these two, the way I'm going to carry them, is that the bevel kind of goes into the rounded frame right here, whereas on the X, you've got that beveled bottom on the frame into the flat Glock frame. So it kind of looks a little goofy, but you know, it's not bad. Actually, to be honest, the 43 frame kind of slides into the beveling of the 43X much better than vice versa with the 43X frame into the Glock. So for me here at COAR, my suggestion is get yourself a 43X, or if you've got the 43 and the X, make yourself a 43X hybrid.